Carole Lombard, the dazzling and free-spirited actress of Hollywood's golden age, had a rather bizarre superstition. She believed the number 13 was her lucky charm. While most avoided it like a curse, Carole embraced it. She scheduled important events on the 13th, stayed in hotel rooms with the number, and even took flights with the dreaded digit. Her friends often warned her, but she laughed off their concerns. In January 1942, after a successful war bond rally, Carole insisted on taking a flight back home, despite others urging her to travel by train. The flight number? TWA Flight 3. The date? January 16th. 1 plus 6 equals 7, but when combined with 3 from the flight, it eerily hinted at her beloved 13. Tragically, the plane crashed near Las Vegas, taking her life at just 33. Some say fate played a cruel joke on her obsession. Hollywood remains divided. Was her faith in 13 a mere coincidence, or did she unknowingly tempt fate? Regardless, her legacy as one of Hollywood's most glamorous stars lives on, leaving us wondering, do superstitions protect us, or do they seal our fate? Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, had a reputation for being suave, confident, and utterly fearless on screen. But behind the scenes, he harbored a chilling superstition, his lucky cufflinks. A gift from his first wife, Josephine Dillon, Gable believed these cufflinks brought him fortune and protection. He wore them to auditions, movie premieres, and even war briefings when he served in World War II. But tragedy struck when Gable forgot to wear them on the night of his beloved wife Carole Lombard's fatal plane crash in 1942. Racked with guilt, he convinced himself that his negligence had doomed her. From that moment on, he never boarded a plane without them, gripped by an eerie belief that their absence would bring disaster. Some say his obsession only grew darker in his later years. On the set of The Misfits, his final film, he reportedly lost one of the cufflinks. Days later, he suffered a fatal heart attack. Coincidence or a self-fulfilling prophecy? Even Hollywood's strongest man wasn't immune to superstition, proving that in the world of fame and fortune, luck, real or imagined, was everything. Marlene Dietrich, the mesmerizing German-born actress, known for her sultry voice and striking beauty, had a deep-rooted belief in charms and amulets. She was convinced that certain objects held magical powers, protecting her from misfortune and ensuring her continued success in Hollywood. Among her most prized possessions was a delicate gold bracelet adorned with tiny charms, each one holding a story, a memory, or a superstition. Dietrich insisted on wearing this bracelet during film shoots, public appearances, and even during turbulent flights across war zones when she performed for troops. She believed it shielded her from danger, and any time she misplaced it, she became restless and anxious, refusing to proceed with her day until it was found. Those close to her recalled moments when she would whisper to the charms, as if seeking their approval before making important decisions. The most chilling part? On the day she decided to retire from the limelight, her bracelet mysteriously snapped, scattering the charms across her dressing room floor. Some whispered that it was a sign. The magic had run out, and so had her time in Hollywood. Was it fate, or had Dietrich unknowingly placed her destiny in the hands of superstition? Joan Crawford, the fierce and glamorous star of Hollywood's golden age, had a superstition that sent chills down the spines of those around her. She was terrified of sleeping in total darkness. Crawford firmly believed that evil spirits lurked in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to strike. To protect herself, she always kept a nightlight on, no matter where she was. She claimed that as a child, she had seen ghostly figures lurking in her bedroom, and the fear never left her. Even in the grandest Hollywood mansions, she refused to sleep without a dim glow nearby. Her staff recalled her obsession with burning candles and placing religious relics in her room to ward off spirits. Some even believed she consulted psychics to ensure her home remained free of supernatural entities. Ironically, after her death in 1977, rumors swirled that her former mansion had become haunted. Visitors and new homeowners reported eerie occurrences, lights flickering, unexplained whispers, and shadows moving across the halls. Had Joan's lifelong fear been justified? Or did her obsession with the supernatural invite something sinister into her life, something that never truly left? Bette Davis, the sharp-tongued, powerhouse actress of Hollywood's golden age, had an unusual superstition. She refused to start filming without personally blessing her script. While many actors relied on luck, Bette took it a step further, believing that each script carried an energy that could make or break a film's success. Before taking on any role, she had a ritual. She would place the script under her pillow for 3 nights, claiming it allowed her to absorb the character's soul. On the 4th day, she would light a candle, read aloud the first and last lines, and then mark the script with her initials, an act she believed sealed her fate with the role. Her dedication to this bizarre practice intensified after a chilling incident on the set of Dark Victory, 1939. On the one night she forgot to place the script under her pillow, a stage light came crashing down just inches from where she stood. Convinced it was a warning, she never skipped her ritual again. Some dismissed it as eccentricity, but others whispered that Betty's method gave her an almost supernatural ability to dominate every role she played. Whether magic or pure talent, one thing was certain: her superstition never failed her. Greta Garbo, the enigmatic Swedish star of Hollywood's golden age, had a superstition as mysterious as she was. She believed that being photographed outside of work would steal her essence. Convinced that too many pictures taken without her control would drain her beauty, Garbo famously avoided the press, shunned fans, and lived in near isolation. Her belief stemmed from an old European superstition that cameras could trap a person's soul. Despite being one of the most photographed women in cinema, she imposed strict rules: no unauthorized pictures, no mirrors in her dressing room, and no candid shots by friends. If she caught someone trying to snap a picture, she would abruptly leave, no matter the event. Her superstition deepened as she aged. After retiring from Hollywood in the 1940s, she disappeared from public life, retreating to a quiet existence in New York. Paparazzi desperately tried to capture her, but she mastered the art of vanishing, ducking into alleys, wearing disguises, and refusing interviews. Some believe her reclusive life was a mere preference, but others say it was her superstition taking hold. Did Garbo truly fear losing her essence, or was the price of fame simply too high for her to pay? Ingrid Bergman, the luminous Swedish actress who captivated Hollywood, had an unsettling superstition. She believed that names held hidden powers, capable of influencing fate. She was particularly wary of people or projects that shared her own name, convinced that they carried ominous energy. This belief took root early in her career when she starred in Intermezzo, 1936, playing a character named Anita Hoffman. Shortly after the film's success, a close friend named Anita unexpectedly passed away, leaving Ingrid shaken. Years later, when Hollywood remade Intermezzo, 1939, with her as the lead again, she hesitated, fearing that revisiting the same story would bring more misfortune. Her fears seemed justified when, in the late 1940s, she starred in Joan of Arc, a film about a doomed heroine. The production was plagued with issues, from financial troubles to a devastating fire that destroyed much of the set. The film flopped, and soon after, Ingrid's personal life unraveled as her scandalous affair with director Roberto Rossellini caused an international uproar. Some whispered that playing a tragic figure had cursed her real life. Coincidence or something more? Ingrid Bergman never spoke openly about her superstition, but those close to her knew. She never took the power of names lightly. Rita Hayworth, the dazzling red-haired goddess of Hollywood's golden age, had a superstition that followed her throughout her life. She believed that broken mirrors brought not just bad luck, but a shattered destiny. It all began in the early years of her career. While rehearsing a dance routine, she accidentally shattered a mirror in her dressing room. That same week, she lost a major film role, and her relationship at the time ended abruptly. Convinced that the mirror had cursed her, she developed an obsessive habit. She never looked into a cracked or broken mirror, and if one shattered near her, she would perform a strange ritual, turning 3 times counterclockwise and throwing salt over her left shoulder. Her fear deepened during her tumultuous marriages. Before her wedding to Orson Welles, a mirror in their home mysteriously cracked on its own. Their marriage, once a passionate romance, soon fell apart. Years later, just before her troubled union with Prince Ali Khan ended, another mirror in her dressing room shattered unexpectedly. Some say it was mere coincidence, but Hayworth was convinced. Mirrors reflected more than just an image. To her, they held the power to foresee, and perhaps even shape her fate. Humphrey Bogart, the rugged, no-nonsense star of Casablanca and the Maltese Falcon, had a peculiar superstition. He believed that lighting 3 cigarettes with the same match would bring disaster. This belief wasn't unique to him. It stemmed from an old wartime superstition that the third light gave snipers enough time to take aim and fire. But for Bogart, it was more than just an old soldier's tale. It was an unbreakable rule. On set, Bogart was rarely seen without a cigarette in hand, But if someone attempted to light 3 cigarettes in a row with the same match, he would snatch it away and stub it out immediately. He claimed that every time he ignored this superstition, something bad happened. A scene would go wrong, a deal would fall through, or he'd fall ill. One eerie story circulated among his friends. During the filming of The African Queen, 1951, a crew member lit 3 cigarettes from the same match despite Bogart's protests. Days later, most of the cast and crew fell violently ill due to contaminated water, except for Bogart, who had mostly stuck to whiskey. Coincidence? Maybe. But Bogart never let anyone test fate around him again. Vivien Leigh, the ethereal beauty of Gone with the Wind, had a haunting superstition. She believed that butterflies were omens of misfortune. Unlike most who saw them as symbols of transformation, Leigh was convinced that their presence foreshadowed heartbreak, illness, or tragedy. Her fear stemmed from a chilling childhood memory. As a young girl in India, she once saw a swarm of black butterflies outside her window the night before a family tragedy. From that moment on, she associated butterflies with impending doom. As her career soared, she grew increasingly wary of their presence. If one entered her dressing room, she would refuse to perform until it was removed. In 1949, while preparing for a streetcar named Desire, she confided in a friend that she had seen a butterfly land on her script. She became visibly shaken, fearing it was a sign of trouble ahead. Soon after, she began suffering from severe mood swings and was later diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Her career and personal life spiraled, leading to a painful divorce from Laurence Olivier and years of declining health. Was it fate, illness, or the eerie prophecy of the butterflies? Leigh carried this fear until her untimely death, leaving behind a legacy as tragic as the roles she so hauntingly portrayed. James Stewart, the beloved It's a Wonderful Life star, had a superstition that stayed with him throughout his long and illustrious career. He never went anywhere without his lucky pocket watch. The watch, a gift from his father before Stewart left for Hollywood, became his personal good luck charm. He believed it protected him, bringing success in his films and safety during his time as a decorated World War II pilot. Before every major event, film premieres, auditions, even dangerous bombing missions, Stewart would take a moment to wind the watch, ensuring its hands moved smoothly. He saw it as a ritual, a sign that time was on his side. On the rare occasions when he forgot it, disaster seemed to strike. In one instance, during the filming of Vertigo, he reportedly left the watch at home, and that day, an accident on set left several crew members injured. Even as he aged and wristwatches became the norm, Stewart kept his lucky timepiece close, often clutching it before making important decisions. Some saw it as mere sentimentality, but for Stewart, the watch was more than a keepsake. It was a lifeline, a silent guardian that had carried him through war, Hollywood, and beyond. Mae West, the bold and sultry queen of double entendres, had a deep superstition about one thing: opals. She firmly believed that the shimmering gemstone was cursed, bringing misfortune and even death to those who wore it. Her fear of opals reportedly started early in her career, when she read about the gemstone's reputation for bad luck, especially for those not born in October. She refused to wear them in any form, no rings, necklaces, or even costumes adorned with the stone. Once, a costume designer unknowingly included an opal brooch in her outfit for a film. The moment West noticed it, she tore it off, insisting that keeping it on would spell disaster for the production. One eerie incident solidified her belief. A close friend of hers, a fellow actress, ignored Mae's warning and purchased an opal ring. Within weeks, her career took a nosedive, and she suffered a mysterious illness that forced her to retire. West saw it as proof of the gem's curse, vowing never to let an opal near her again. Whether it was mere coincidence or something more sinister, one thing was certain: Mae West wasn't willing to take the risk. To her, opals weren't just unlucky, they were downright dangerous. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment. Also consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to get notified of our newest videos. Thanks for watching.